6 months after Virginia died by suicide at the age of 41, she is getting the final word in a cruel and revolting scandal that sucked her in when she was still in her mid-teens, and it really never entirely let her go.
I was recruited at a very young age from Mar-a-Lago and entrapped in a world that I didn't understand, and I've been fighting that very world to this day, and I won't stop fighting. I will never be silenced until these people are brought to justice.
That was Virginia Giuffre back in 2019, the same year that her infamous rapist and trafficker Jeffrey Epstein was found hanging in his New York jail cell. And the same year that Britain's Prince Andrew, to whom Epstein allegedly trafficked her at age 17, hello photo, was handed his first public rebuke, but not his last. As we reported on Friday, the prince is now giving up all of his royal titles, including Duke of York, and there's no indication that that was his decision alone. Speaking of titles, Virginia's memoir is called Nobody's Girl, a memoir of surviving abuse and fighting for justice. And though, again, it doesn't drop till tomorrow, what we have seen so far is both sinister and devastating. Virginia describes being a plaything of Epstein and his now imprisoned right-hand woman, Ghislaine Maxwell. She writes this: "In my years with them, they lent me out to scores of wealthy, powerful people. I was habitually used and humiliated, and in some circumstances, choked, beaten, and bloodied. I believed I might die a sex slave." That's according to the BBC, because they got an advance copy of Virginia Giuffre's book. Giuffre wrote that she was forced to have sex with Andrew, the once favorite son of the late Queen Elizabeth, 3 different times. The first when she was just 17. She writes that Andrew acted, and I quote, "entitled, as if having sex with me was his birthright." She says Epstein paid her $15,000 for that encounter. She writes another encounter was on Epstein's private island as part of an orgy. And she writes this: "Epstein, Andy, and approximately 8 other young girls and I had sex together. The other girls all appeared to be under the age of 18 and didn't really speak English. Epstein laughed about how they couldn't really communicate, saying they're the easiest girls to get along with." Days later, she writes she lost a pregnancy. She says she woke up in a pool of blood as Epstein was taking her to the hospital and whispering to a medic about her care. She writes this: "I had a tiny incision near my belly button, which was consistent with a laparoscopic keyhole surgery for an ectopic pregnancy. But Epstein told me that I'd had a miscarriage, which is something altogether different. The one thing I clearly remember is that at one point a doctor told me I might never be able to have children." In fact, in later life, Giuffre did have 3 children of her own. In the book, she adds, and I quote, "Epstein never wore a condom, and neither did the men that he and Maxwell trafficked me to." But there is no suggestion that Prince Andrew may have fathered the child that she says that she lost in this book. In 2021, as you probably know, Virginia Giuffre sued Prince Andrew, the man that she called Andy. And though he vehemently denied wrongdoing and still does, he settled the following year for a reported £12 million, which works out to roughly $16 million US. In the book, Giuffre says the settlement included a gag order, which may or may not be null and void now, being that she's dead. But we don't know for sure, because sometimes an estate is still bound by it. She also writes in her memoir, quote, "After casting doubt on my credibility for so long, Prince Andrew's team had even gone so far as to try to hire internet trolls to hassle me. But if the prince actually did that, he may have not stopped there. As we speak, London police are said to be, quote, actively investigating reports that the prince asked his personal bodyguard to dig up Virginia's personal information, including her social security number. shortly before that infamous photo of the two of them surfaced in 2011.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.